What's up, everyone? It's Kanan back with another video. This is a long line of videos I'm recording today because gotta have stuff that can go up while me and Jess are at the con in a couple of weeks, since I won't be able to live stream or anything like that. But had a couple of days off finally, so I had time to do this. But I wanted to get up a RWBY video for you guys. I'm actually recording another RWBY video. If not today, I'm going to record it Tuesday. I plan to finally put up a new episode of What If Yang Was a Saiyan. I know it's been a while, but with RWBY currently in the state that it's in, I kind of do have to push those off to the side for right now because I don't want to get to where the story's over and for right now and I can't do anything new until something new happens. But I wanted to do a video on RWBY's current state or status since the last video I did. Now, the last video I did talking about this, I was reacting or playing a clip from the final Rooster Teeth RWBY stream where it was pretty much confirmed but not confirmed that RWBY has found a new buyer. And they pretty much all but confirmed it without naming who it is. Because they talked about how, they were talking to a particular partner about funding Volume 10 to all of a sudden, hey, how about you just buy the whole thing? And apparently this partner was very interested in that. Talks have been going on for quite a bit with this partner, and things have went really well. That they couldn't announce it during that live stream, but said that in the coming weeks they would be able to. They would have some news. Now, normally you would think, okay, well, what does that entail? Now, I personally do not think they would have said that if all they were going to tell us in the next few weeks is, oh, talks are still going on. I said in that video, and I've said several times on Twitter, that a buyer has been found. They just have to wait until the deal has went through, until they can say anything publicly. Because legally, until it is publicly stated, even though as of the recording of this video, Rooster Teeth is now shut down. It sadly no longer exists. But still, as of right now, WB still owns the rights to RWBY, even though they have it up for sale. So if you come out and say, oh, we're making the next season of RWBY, you can't legally say that. WB could still sue you. They could issue a cease and desist and all that. And so they're waiting for that ink to dry. And another thing that sealed the deal for me was when they said during the live stream that the creative team behind RWBY, pretty much the creative part of RWBY, would be involved as well. So if a deal has not been struck, if a full-out purchase has not been finalized, there's no way they can say that. There's no way that they'd be pretty much saying, oh, Carrie, Eddie, I'm guessing Kirsty, I'm not sure, and maybe Miles are all still they're going to be part of the deal. They're still going to be writing the show, blah, 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 and all that. And as far as we know, it's just Carrie and Eddie. That's the only two that's really been shown. Miles left Rooster Teeth a good few years ago, but he's still been helping write the show, also still voicing Jean. But we still don't know exactly how much involved he is in this current day. Kirsty, I've not seen her say much about the future. There's some stuff she says that looks like that she was only on board for 7 through 9. But I don't know. I don't know her current status as far as still being considered one of the writers of RWBY. But definitely Carrie and definitely Eddie. It definitely seems like those two have become the now packaged deal. Now, of course, people are probably wondering, well, what about the animators and all that? I still see people asking about that on Twitter, and I think a lot of people still do not fully understand what independent contractors are. Um, Animators, in the same way with voice talent, 9 times out of 10 are not signed exclusively to a company. Now, in some cases, if you work for a specific company and you are working on something for a big publisher, then yes, you work for that studio, that development company. How Rooster Teeth did it seems, is that they would hire on animators to work on a current season, and then once that season was over, if the animator already worked for Rooster Teeth, then they just worked on something else that Rooster Teeth was doing. But if you were a independent contractor, your time at Rooster Teeth eventually would come to an end, and you would move on to different projects elsewhere. Same way with voice acting. You know, besides Barbara and Lindsay, who both technically worked at Rooster Teeth as well, most of the voice talent were not signed exclusively to Rooster Teeth. They didn't just voice Rooster Teeth stuff. You know, like Erin. Erin is a perfect example. She voices Black Swan in Honkai Star Rail. She voices many other characters in other series. Pretty much, you sign on for that season to work to voice that character, and then after that, you move on. You know, you've got to get work. You've got to get other jobs to make money. So it's the same way with animators. Once a season was over, the animators would just go on to different places and find other shows to work on, whether it was a Rooster Teeth production or not. So I always think that if the road to Volume 10 had been a lot smoother, I think they would have called back those same animators right back to work on it if they were available, if they were not currently working on something. But sadly, the current state of affairs, we don't know. The whole animation side, which is probably still very far in the future, is still a big question mark at this point. Now, where is RWBY going to end up at? Who is this mystery buyer? Well, sadly, I have no information. I don't have. Our channel's not big enough for me to have insiders or any kind of information that not the normal person would have. But I've seen some suggestions. I am happy that the majority of people do not want to see Disney own RWBY. Now, of course, Disney still puts out good content that I do enjoy, like Star Wars. Yes, I'm one of those odd Star Wars fans that enjoy more than just the original trilogy. But I have seen what Disney does to a lot of their shows, especially shows that have characters that are LGBT. The Owl House is the biggest example I can think of. One of the best shows I've seen, and it wasn't even just because of the LGBT content. It was just the show itself. It was the first cartoon that Disney has put out in years that I actually enjoyed. And look how Disney treated it. I don't want that to happen to RWBY. So I do not want Disney touching this whatsoever. Some have said A24, but I don't. Does A24 even have an animation company? Do they even delve in animation? Let me check this out. Does A24 do animation? Oh, okay. So A24 is the ones that are doing Has Been Hotel. In association with Prime Video and Fox Entertainment's Bento Box Entertainment, A24 launched its first animated project, the adult musical comedy series Has Been Hotel. Okay, I did not know that was who had grabbed Has Been Hotel. I did not know that. All right, I've not been able to watch Has Been Hotel. All right, so, okay, I can see why a lot of people might want A24 to get RWBY then, because a lot of people enjoy Has Been Hotel, but two very different shows. I don't know about that. Then, of course, some people have said, well, what about Crunchyroll? Here's the thing, though. Though Crunchyroll has previously co-produced anime titles in the past, most of them were shows that were exclusive only to them. Sony kind of shut that down after they acquired Crunchyroll. It was discontinued quietly, alongside the closure of a lot of Crunchyroll's in-house production studios. So, as far as animation goes, Crunchyroll's not going to happen. That's why I was always kind of confused, befuddled, hoodwinked, why whenever people would talk about Greenlight Volume 10 of RWBY, they would be tagging Crunchyroll. As far as I know, Crunchyroll has nothing to do with Volume 10 happening. They would probably more than likely just be who decides if it's shown on their platform or not. Because remember, when Volume 9 was announced for Crunchyroll, it said that Crunchyroll was going to be the new home for RWBY. Now, of course, all of RWBY is on there, volumes 1 through 9. Ice Queendom is on there. I think RWBY Chibi is as well. The only thing I don't think is currently on there is RWBY Beyond. I think. There might be some other things on there that haven't made it to Crunchyroll yet. But, and you know, that for me for a while was also weird. Why announce that you've just decided this exclusivity deal with Crunchyroll for Volume 9 and announce it's going to be the future home of future RWBY projects if the status of the show was in such question? Now, that makes me think that either Rooster Teeth was just very confident that eventually RWBY Volume 10 would get greenlit, or maybe someone in WB gave them false hope, gave them, lied to them, who knows. WB's been making a lot of bad decisions here recently, mostly because, well, they're kind of on the edge of bankruptcy themselves, so they're closing down everything they can to save money. But it was just like, I don't know. Before the announcement of Rooster Teeth's closure, I just thought maybe WB was just being very stubborn, but I don't know. Who knows how these corporate suits think? I sure as hell do not want to ever think that way myself. So, leading up to the Rooster Teeth closure, I expected some things to happen. And one of them did happen, and that was RWBY, Lindsay, announcing that RWBY was going to be taking a hiatus from streaming. Now, for those of you who don't know, a good few months ago, they created a RWBY Rose VTuber, and Lindsay started streaming as RWBY, doing Let's Plays and chatting streams and all that. And in a few of them, they had Yang join RWBY, and it was Barbara voicing Yang. It seemed like the Yang VTuber model was not as animated as RWBY, but Yang at least exists. There was a few that there was one that Michael did as Sun, and one that Carrie did as Neptune. But the model, they were pretty much the models from RWBY Beyond, and their mouths would move, but that's about it. They weren't true VTuber models. So it was fun, and of course RWBY did a collaboration with the Shoujo girls, which was very entertaining. As I said in previous videos, only Zen and Melody streamed it, so you can go watch it on either of their Twitch channels, and I think someone uploaded the whole thing from Project Melody's stream onto YouTube, so you can watch it anytime. But Zen's is a little bit better because Melody had some sound issues at the beginning. But yes, when that was announced, I kind of saw that happening, because Lindsay does not own RWBY. She does not. They do not own the. Though wait, didn't Lindsay currently say I'll just say they just to be safe because I do know for a while. But I could have sworn I saw someone claim that Lindsay said she was okay as well. But anyway, I digress. Lindsay does not own the rights to RWBY, the character. WB does. So, of course, while all this is uncertain, well, to a lot of people it's uncertain. To me, it's kind of very obvious. Until this new owner is announced, Lindsay cannot stream as RWBY. So, RWBY announced a hiatus, drove it very home that this was a see you later, not a goodbye. And, to me, like, it sucked, yes. But on the other hand, I was like, okay, they're putting it on hiatus until the deal goes through, and then once the new deal is announced and the new home for RWBY is announced, then RWBY can go back to live streaming. And then another thing that happened was I'm trying to remember that I get them all. I'm trying to make sure I remember them all. The RWBY Twitter account said that they would be going on hiatus, though I think they've made a couple of more posts since then. But said pretty much in quotation, well, not in quotations, like pretty much an abridged version, that they would be back very soon with some very exciting news. And then Eddie retweeted it and used emojis like, eyeballs, and it was like coming soon or something like that. So that alone told me, okay, yeah, like the announcement is definitely going to be the new home for RWBY, where it's going to air, Volume 10 officially being in production. Maybe Volumes 11 and 12 getting greenlit right away. That'd be amazing. I'd love it. But when? When is that going to happen? It's already been a good number of weeks since that live stream. Now, of course, I think they did have to wait more than likely until Rooster Teeth was officially shut down before we could really maybe start that timer. I don't know. But I'm hoping something is said before the end of this month. So either this week or next week. Hopefully we get an announcement. It'll definitely be this summer. I mean, it has to be. It has to be this summer. Now, a lot of people have been talking about does WB have the final say? Well, I'm sure they have the final say on who it gets sold to. But since they're wanting to get rid of it, I do not see them creating much of a fight. I've seen some other people say, well, maybe WB wants to give it to a subsidiary of theirs. If they wanted to keep RWBY, they wouldn't have it on sale. So they're not going to give it to a subsidiary. I know I said someone tweeted me about Discovery maybe might be interested in RWBY. Discovery's not an animation company. They don't do animation at all. They do true crime and all that other stuff. They don't do animation. So no, it's not going to Discovery. Like I said, if WB wanted to keep it under their house, they would have kept it. They wouldn't have put it on sale. They said, okay, we're shutting Rooster Teeth down, but we're keeping RWBY. That's not what's happening. They shut down Rooster Teeth and they're trying to sell all of its assets so they can get the money of it, so they can try and stay in business. Man. Anyway, a lot's happened since that last video, since I did the video of me reacting to that live stream. Well, a clip from the live stream. And, there's people like, I'm not going to name them, but, there's people who are celebrating the death of Rooster Teeth and all that, Did Rooster Teeth have problems? Yes. But celebrating a lot of people who've lost their jobs, I'm sorry. You're a crap person. Your mother probably slapped the stork that brought you. That's one thing RWBY Twitter has taught me. There's a lot of people who have gotten way too comfortable talking bad crap about people because the internet like we at this point we need to stop fighting each other and just when you see people who are like in despair, like who maybe don't fully get what's going on, are in despair because of RWBY's uncertainty, like you need to take that time to just tell, like, inform people and be nice to them, not get on there and go, oh, they deserved it, stuff like that. The internet's made people way too comfortable with that crap, and this needs to stop. Like, these people, like a lot of the people that caused all the problems that Rooster Teeth have are not even we're not with the company anymore. They were gone, and I don't know. It's just it's a mess altogether. But we need to just be patient. I know saying that is hard. It's been a while now. Like Volume 9's legit a year old at this point. And ever since the end of Volume 9, we've been wondering what is going on. But I think things are definitely better than they were a month ago, like for sure. But we'll see. We'll see if it comes this week. We'll see if it comes next week. It might not be till June. It might not be till July. They might wait until what would have been the weekend of RTX. I know they weren't going to have one this year, or was it last year? I don't remember. But they had already said ahead of time that they weren't going to have it and that it would eventually come back. Well, that's obviously not happening now. But maybe they'll wait till then. I don't know. Maybe they'll wait till sometime in June. Maybe they'll wait till sometime in July. I just think it will be this summer when an announcement gets made. Hopefully it's this month. But I don't have any other information to go off on that. But I do think that a deal's been signed. They're just finalizing everything. RWBY's got a new home. Is it A24? Is it another anime? Like, it's definitely another animation company, but who? We don't know. Just as long as it's not Disney, I'll be fine. But that's all I've got for you guys in this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment. We're getting very close to 800 subscribers. Please help us reach that. We're trying to get to 1,000. But as always, guys, this is Kanan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you in the next one. See ya.